Okay, this is test 21. Today is May 2nd, 2010, and we're going to have another 5,000 RPM run-in. What we're seeing here is a visible V8. It's it's a 2010. It's a 1960 design, but this is a 2010 block, but it's got a 2010 crankshaft, but it's got other accessories that are from the 1960s and 1977. So it's just kind of a little bit of everything here. Two of the rods in here are from 1960. So six of the rods are from 2010, and two of the rods are from 1960. So we'll see how that does. But what you have here is your visible V8, and here's your water pump. Here's your generator. Here's your little air cleaner. Here's all your little parts here. This is a stock crankshaft, and this engine has been slightly modified for this high-speed operation that we're going to be seeing here today. This is your little torque converter here, and this is your drive. This is your drive shaft over here. Here's your motor. This is the drive motor right here. Here's your oil pressure, your lubricant pressure right here. Down here is your oil pump. It has an external oil pump down here. This is your cooling hose over here. Supplies cool air to keeps the motor cooled down. And there's a fan on the other end of this hose, this big 4-inch hose over here. Over here is your oil filters. You have to filter the lubricant, so you got several filters here. And then you have your storage over here. This is your lubrication tank over here, and there's a coffee strainer. That's what that is. That's a coffee strainer in there. It keeps keeps anything contaminants out of the oil. You want to have clean oil for this to operate. There's a bearing back here. There's a bushing in the back end of this to hold the shaft in the correct position. This is a flexible coupling. There's a reflective tape right here. This is how the RPM is judged from the reflective tape right there on the shaft. And this control here is for your oil pressure control. It controls the pump. And there's a valve down here. There's a ball valve down here that helps control the pressure on the pump. So all this works together. This engine relies totally on lubrication through these lines. There's a line here, and there's a lubrication rail inside the engine that lubricates the different parts. And then there's a return line here that goes back into the tank out of the bottom of the oil pan. So it's basically a dry system for the most part. It will fill up with liquid at times, but it's basically a dry system. You have your rocker arms in here, and you have your camshaft gears up here in front. Gear pump over here, oil gear pump. for your lubrication pump. This usually runs right around, they'll run somewhere between, usually between 3 and, usually between 3 and 6 pounds, depending on the speed that you're running. So, anyway, this is just a kind of a walk around. This plate, there's a base plate here that's made out of plexiglass base plate, and then this is kind of a flexible mount there, kind of a rubber. It's a rubber mount and a pan to catch the oil, catch the lubrication. Has a tendency. This engine has a tendency to leak a lot. It was never designed to hold liquid, so it has a tendency to leak quite a bit. This is what we're going to have today, and today we're going to hit 5,000 RPM with this engine, which it will do. This engine was only designed to run about 100 RPM, so it's running considerably faster than design. But that's the way it is, and so that's the challenge, to go from 100 RPM to 5,000 RPM, and it's been quite a challenge. There's a lot of, it doesn't show here, but there's a lot of work put into this engine, a lot of hours, a lot of testing. This is the second engine. There was another engine before that was a test engine that I learned from it to build this one. This is the third crankshaft in this engine. 2 crankshafts have had problems during testing, and so this is crankshaft number 3. And with every crankshaft, I learned something. So with that, we're going to start this engine up. Let me put this on the stand here.